Good evening, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to the live. Hope everyone had a good day, having a good evening. Happy Monday. Ooh, it seems like this month it's just begun, but it seems like the days are moving pretty fast. Before you know it, we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas. Even in some of the stores, they already have the Christmas decorations out. They have Halloween out too, but I've been seeing a lot of Christmas decorations. Anyhow, the title of this live is Too Blessed to Stress. I know it's the other way around, too blessed to be stressed, but I switched it up and too blessed to stress. Meaning, we all go through things, but we're still blessed. So we don't have to stress about things. I know it's easier said than done for myself. I am, or I want to say I'm a recovering stressor because I do tend to overly stress when I shouldn't. When I shouldn't, have all that stress. A lot of times we stress about finances, we stress about our health, we stress about where we live, just anything. For me, myself, I know stress has not been really good to me because stress can lead to other ailments in your health. I mean, it can lead to strokes, heart attacks, just anything. So stress isn't good. We all know that stress isn't good, but like I said, it's easier said than done not to stress. For me, I've had a few big stresses lately, which I'm learning now. I cannot hold on to that. I trust in God. I know He has my back. I just have that. Sometimes I guess we all can just like sit and, if something is going on in our life, it's kind of like we stress about it. How am I going to take care of this? How am I going to pay for this? And I can see that being stressful, but we shouldn't let it completely destroy us and just take over our whole mindset. We pray about it, give it to God, and let it go. So yes, that's really what I wanted to talk about with stress. The way the world is now, there's so many things happening. Prices are skyrocketing, whether it be in the grocery store, clothes, whatever. These prices are ridiculous. Every time you look on the news, look at the news, there's something happening, there's something going on, and in our own lives, our personal lives, we may be dealing with things, we may be worried about a lot of things, in our lives. So yeah. Can anyone hear me? So yeah, um, stress can lead to so many things, health wise, yeah. Hey Nate, welcome in. How have you been? Just talking about, how we are, and I'm not trying to put words in anybody else's mouth, but too blessed to stress. We woke up this morning, we're in our right frame of mind. We're blessed. We shouldn't stress about things that, we just shouldn't stress about things. I know for myself, I have a appointment next month to see a specialist, which I won't get into detail. I was stressed about it. I was so anxious. I was just so, but I realize I can't stress about it. I just have to leave it in God's hands. I'm good, sis. Workflow as usual. How are you? I'm pretty good, Nate. Trying to hang on in there. Trying to get through this thing called life, you know. Um, and I know sometimes I I kind of like want to encourage people, but I'm trying to encourage myself, trying to stay strong and trying to just not let things bother me, and I think it's okay to worry, but not to the point where it gets out of hand and where it stresses you out, you know. Um, it's just not good to stress. So I hear you, stress. Still number one killer. It is still the number. Yes, it is. Like I said, it can lead to strokes. I know. When I was younger, my mom had a stroke, and it was based on stress. I mean, when you're doing your best, you're working, you this, that, and the other. You just have so many other things going on. It's easy to get burnt out and stressed out. But we just have to remember that what comes with that. My mom used to tell me all the time, you don't want to go down that road where you're so stressed, where you have a heart attack or a stroke. Got to find different ways. Yes, exactly. And like I said, I'm learning to deal with or to channel my stress and not to let it um, interfere so much, not let it get me. But like I said, there's a lot of things going on, and you try not to stress. You try to put everything into perspective and just let it go and just it's like I said, it's easier said than done. Somebody may say, you don't know what you're talking about. You shouldn't say that. Well, I mean, these are my opinions only. I don't know. But I do know stress is a killer, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it can get you. So that's why I said, too blessed to stress. We don't have to do it, you know. Worry, about a situation, but overly worried and overly stressed, it's not good. It is not good. And for a while, I was, if we're being honest, completely honest, I was stressing about this channel. I was, you know, stressed about, it growing and this, that, and the other, and I was ready to just say, forget it, but that's a whole nother topic, you know. Um, so yeah, just avoid stress as possible. Because it's not good for our health. It's not good, you know. I mean, like I can go through the day, and if I'm really just stressing about something, I get these awful headaches. I'm not myself. I feel tired. I feel like my low energy. I don't want to do anything. I'm just um, my pressure for one goes up. And it just you know makes me anxious. Um, and so I don't want to do that. I don't want to be stressed out to the point where it will land me in the hospital. For it it's not good. I mean, we can stress emotionally, physically. It's just not good. We gotta. I say we, but I don't want to put my thoughts or feelings on anyone. I mean, it's my opinion. Myself, I know I have to not stress. I have to not. Um, I have to learn to just let it go. Pray on it and let it go. Let go and let God. You know, not let it. You know, get me to the point where I'm just physically ill. Because a lot of times we think, a lot of times, well, I know I thought that I didn't think stress could affect you like that. It can. It can really be um, bad, um, for your blood pressure, for every area in your life. It's not good, And I'm not trying to tell anybody how to feel or what to feel or how to get through. I'm just saying for me, I know that I need to um, put a halt on my stress. It's not worth it. It's not, So, like I said, I'm uh, just at a point in my life where I know I can't afford to stress about anything. I can't afford to um, get myself in a situation, where I'm just, I'll be no good to, not alone, not good to anybody else, but to myself. I'll be of no good, because I'm stressed and I'm making myself physically ill, So yeah, that's really all I wanted to talk about and try to encourage someone to, if you're stressing, just realize how blessed you are. I mean, you don't have to stress, just realize that, you woke up this morning, you're in your right frame of mind. You can walk, you can see, you can talk, you're blessed, Um, so yeah. So guys, yeah, that's all I really wanted to touch base with you guys with, and just you know, say that stress is no good, you know. Um, like Nate just said, stress is still the number one killer amongst the community. It really is, and we don't look at it that way. You know, like I said, you know, can have a stroke, a heart attack, and we don't want that, you know, all because we stressed ourselves out to the point where we're physically ill. So yeah. So guys, I thank you for joining me. I'm going to stay on for a few more minutes. Um, welcome in everyone. Thank you for coming in. Um, can't stress out over things you can't control. You're right. You can't control it. Yeah, you're right. And I guess for me, I was always told, don't stress. It's no good for you. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, there's so much on my plate. I'm trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to be there for everyone. I'm trying to multitask. I'm just trying to um, dot my I's and cross my T's. I'm trying to do all that, and it's just it's no good to get yourself in a situation where it's just you're anxious, you're worried, your anxiety is through the roof, your stress level is an all time high. When all you can do is lay down and try to get rid of the headache and get rid of these body aches because you're just so stressed out. Yeah, it's no good. And especially if God is in control, if it's out of my control, it's in God's hands. As you know, when you've done what you could do and you've done your best, that's all you can do. Hand it over to God and leave it. Hey, Patty's Kitchen Garden, more welcome in. Happy, I almost said happy Saturday. I'm sorry. Happy Monday. I hope everyone is having a good evening. See where my mind is. But yeah, we, for me, I have tons of things going on at times, but I know that if I stress myself out about it, in the end, I will be no good to no one, and I can't afford to, stress like that. We can't afford to stress like that. It's no good, um, and I don't want to be physically ill behind stressing, I mean, it's just, I don't want to be ill, period, but stressing is a humdinger. It will get you. It will, yeah. So all I want to say to everyone is, if you're stressed, try to eliminate some of that stress. Try to not put too much into it because it's no good. I hope everyone had a good weekend. Seems like these weekends are just zooming on by. you know. So Before you know it, October will be over and it'll be November. Meditate and pray, exactly. Like the song said, there's a song. Um, it's called "Don't Pray and Worry," and that hits deep because why are you praying on it and it's still lingering with you? You know, are you? And I'm guilty of that. You know, God forgive me. I'm guilty of that. I've prayed on many of occasions, and it's still that thought was still there. You know, that thought was still there. That song "Don't Pray and Worry" is by J Moss. But yeah, um, thank you, Nate, for dropping the links. Appreciate you. So yeah, we can't can't pray and worry. Can't be stressed out. You know, and like I said, that's easier said than done. You know, I'm just speaking for myself and trying to encourage anybody that's ever felt like they're stressing. It's too much. You know. Hey, Angel Eyes, welcome in, sis. How are you? Happy Monday. You know, it's talking about this thing called stress. You know, how blessed we are. We don't have to stress. You know, you know, um, like I said, it's a lot going on, but we shouldn't stress about it. Let me turn this down. I know I'm gonna get a copyright strike from YouTube for playing music in the background, but hey, it is what it is. I'm not gonna stress about it or worry about it. You know, that's right. Pray and have faith, no worrying. Yeah, my mom used to tell me that all the time, and she would also um, use herself as an example, you know, as to what stress can do and what worrying can do to your body. You know, her having a stroke at a young age, you know, um, and having to, you know, relearn things, you know, learn how to walk and talk and everything. And we shouldn't put ourselves through all that stress, you know. Like I said, I'm only speaking for what I feel. I'm not gonna say that, but hey, Kat. Hey, sweetie, try to take it easy. I tried yoga, and that helped me a lot. Okay, yeah, yoga and yeah, exercise. And what's the other one? I tried Pilates, but I don't know if Pilates liked me, so I kind of yeah. But you know, I like to read, I like to write, but it's like when you're in that mode, stressing that's the furthest thing you want to do. Um, that's the furthest thing you want to do is do all those things. But I realized, you know, to ease my mind, I have to get back into my writing, you know, focus and you know, not worry about all that other stuff, you know, because sometimes we can put more on us ourselves than is necessary, you know, and like it says, God doesn't put more on us than we can bear, you know, but sometimes we put more on ourselves, you know, we try to I know me. I try to be there for everyone. I try to um, be that one for everyone. You know. Let me read the comments. I'm AK. I know, girl. I know. I know. I just don't want to say that. Yes, sis, I can't do the stress. It almost took me out of here a month ago. I'm trying. I'm talking to a therapist now. A lot of things I can't carry my head to. And you know what? I wanted to see a therapist, but you know the stigma on that. People say, "Oh, if you go see a therapist, something is wrong with you with your mental." And I'm like, if it is, I'm seeking help. Not saying that there is, but you know the stigma people put on going to see a therapist or talking to someone that equals something's wrong with your mind. Well, duh, something is wrong with my mind. I need to get whatever is on my mind off of my mind. You know, if that makes sense. I need to alleviate everything that's keeping me in that situation, you know, with stress, um, and it is a silent killer, we can, it's not good, you know, it's not good. And I'm just speaking for me, you know, whenever Nate says, whenever you need help and support, you have to talk to someone. Exactly. But I mentioned to someone that is no longer in my life that I wanted to seek help, seek a therapist. I didn't say therapist. I said a psychiatrist. And the drawback that I got from that, the silence. It was like the person was like, "You want to see a? I mean, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "That's what I'm trying to figure out. If I knew what was wrong with me, I wouldn't need to see, And I'm not saying that I would just run to a psychiatrist to, I just would need someone to, especially when my mom passed, I needed someone, but the stigma was so, oh, you shouldn't do this because you're this, so I didn't pursue it anymore. Maybe that's my bad. I didn't pursue it anymore. It's not too late. I could still, um, I can still, seek help. I'm still grieving for my mother and all the loss I had in 2020. Yes, exactly. That's a lot. It is, it is, it is. I mean, and let me tell you something else that's really hard, like uh, your mother passing away days before her birthday, and then you still have to celebrate her birthday. And that was like, oh, I was so stressed because I was like, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to not break down, and I still break down. I mean, to this very day, I still break down when it gets close to her birthday and her actual birthday. I still break down. It doesn't hurt to pray and talk to. Exactly. Healing prayers. Thank you, Nate. Thanks for coming in, bro. Appreciate you. So yeah, it just, we just have to let go of all that stress, because it can physically harm us, and that's the last thing I want, So if this message encourages anyone, or if anyone can relate to what I'm saying, that's great, I'm still dealing with depression because of my brother passing. It's hard to talk about it. I can understand you a lot after losing loved ones, especially my mama. Yes, the people, people will say, oh, in time, you'll get over it. No, you don't get over it. As I'm learning, you just learn to deal with it. You learn how to not let it affect you, and it affects me. I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I can be having the greatest of days, and then that thought or something will come up, and I'm like, I'm in that place again where I'm like sad. I don't want to talk to anyone, I can't talk to either parent. I can't talk to either parent. I definitely lost a lot of people, but I carry their torch and keep making them. Exactly. Yes. But yes, guys, that's, let's try to keep our stress level at a minimum. Let's, um, you know, pray on it, and people, some people laugh when you say pray about it. What's so funny about praying? You know, you know, I pray about everything. And you may think, well, if you're stressed, you're not praying. I'm praying. I kind of just, it's like that thought creeps up in my mind, and there I am again thinking about what I said I wasn't going to think about, like the test I have next month for the specialist. I freaked out about it. I it just hit me because I'm like, huh? I thought, but yeah, I worried about it. I stressed about it, but I said, you know what, God, the appointment is not until next month. I'm not going to stress myself out following leading up to the appointment. I'm not going to do it because all it's going to do is wear me out, my body out. And then when I go for the test, and I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to put that pressure or that stress on myself, I'm just going to pray about it and let God work it out because he already has it worked out. He already knows what the results are. He already knows what tests I need. He already knows, So the best thing I can do is leave it alone and let go and let God, not sounding, cliche, but that's what we have to do. Let go and let God, because he already knows where and what is going to take place in our lives. We shouldn't try to figure it out before it's figured out. if that makes sense. You know, can you guys still hear me? But yeah, so that's what I said. I'm too blessed to stress. I'm here talking to you guys. I woke up this morning. I think I'm in my right frame of mind. So not to sound, you know, dumb. But yeah. So that's it. You know, that's it. It's a lot. Like I said, I stressed about this darn channel. I stressed about this, to the point where I was like, but I'm like, whatever, it is what it is. I can't. No, 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 no. As my mom would say, you're gonna stress yourself out to the point where you're gonna, be out of here. And those words stuck with me. They still stick with me. Hey, what's wrong with my? Hang on, I don't know what's wrong with my. If you guys can still hear me, I guess I'm good. I don't see. I guess you guys can hear me. Okay, let me read the comments. People have really been trying me lately. I mean, really trying me. I have no. I have to pray about it because, excuse me, I'm working on me, and I know I have a lot of work to do. God knows I do. Yes. Okay. Yes, and that's that's what I tell people and me too. I'm a work in progress. I'm not gonna just you know switch a light and everything is and those people who are trying to mess with you or play just hey because at the end of the day you're gonna get your rest, you're gonna sleep good. They're still trying to do and pick with you and be this way and that way. I don't know. That's why I don't deal with a lot these days. To be honest with you guys, when it seems like when things happened in my life, I lost a lot of people that I was cool with, that we were on good terms, and it bothered me at first, but those people weren't really meant to be in my life, if they just left at the drop of a dime. So anyway, guys, I don't want to wear your ears off, and I'm sure you have other. It is Monday. I'm sure tomorrow is a work day, and I don't want to keep you guys too long. I just wanted to share this message. I know, um, a lot of times we are dealing with things in silent that no one has any idea about. I haven't even posted a video in 8 days because I'm just at standstill. It's like God is telling me. You know what, sis? That was me. I would schedule lives, and it's just something that just wasn't, resonating with me, right? So I had to reschedule, and I think maybe that was God telling me that, hey, you shouldn't do this. I don't know for what reason, but I look at it like that. Now I look at it like that. Like the other day, I missed the bus, and it was like it wasn't the end of the world. I missed the bus. There'll be another bus, and I'm thinking to myself, that bus may have been not meant for me. Something may have been happening or going wrong with the bus. So that's how I've been looking at things now. I haven't always been, you know, um, talkative like this and sharing things with people like this. I've always, I wouldn't say I was shy, but I was like, or maybe I was shy. I was afraid of what people would think and say, but who cares? Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you. So, I mean, I just want you guys to stay encouraged. I need the encouragement. I try to encourage people, but I sometimes I need to remember I need to encourage myself. And how am I going to be able to encourage someone if I'm not, there yet? But I try to inspire and motivate. I mean, there are times I felt broken, like I couldn't, I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything, and people, I guess, would attribute that to being in a bad mood. No, not a bad mood, just not myself. It wasn't meant for you to get exactly. That's how I look at it. So yes, guys. Um, and the messages I post on my community wall, or to encourage and inspire anyone who's dealing with um, anything, because we don't know what everyone is going through on the other side of the screen. People on here will talk about this, that, and the other, but you don't know what a person is dealing with. You don't know what. You're welcome, Patty. Thank you for always being positive and just. But yeah, you don't know what the other person on the other side of the screen is going through. Like, I don't know what any of you guys are going through. I see what you're posting, Angel Eyes. And I promise you, I understand. But I don't know everything that you're feeling. I mean, Miss Patty, I don't know everything that you're going through. Um, and I would sound foolish if I said that I knew exactly what you are feeling. No, and I'm not here to tell anybody how to feel or what to feel. Your feelings are your feelings. How you feel is how you feel. Um, will I pray for you? Yes. Without even knowing what you're dealing with, because I don't need to know. I mean, God knows. And all we can do is stand in the gap and lift each other up in prayer, and that's it. You know, and that's all I want to do. I don't. You won't catch me reacting to anybody doing a live on any other, stuff. I'm just, this is, what I feel, and that's it. But yeah, you guys, I just, I hope everyone leaves this live with something, whether it be um, a tip or something. But I just want to encourage everyone, and I thank everyone for joining me. Um, if you haven't already, please like the live. If you can, share me out. Um, and I do have a live. I think we all go through things in life because God gets us through. Yep. There's a song that says, even when I don't feel that He's working, even when He's always, yep, always, even when we don't feel that He's working, He's right there. Even when we don't, He's working. He's right there. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end this live. I thank each and every one of you guys for joining me. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to stop by, and I really appreciate you guys. I do have a live, like I was saying, I do have a live scheduled for tomorrow, and I hope to be able to make that live. It's titled, if I'm not mistaken, Everyone is Not going to Agree with Everyone. Well, you don't have to agree with everyone. We don't have to agree with everyone. And I want to save that for tomorrow. You guys have a wonderful and blessed night. Thank you, Angel Eyes. Thank you, sis. You guys have a wonderful and blessed night. Let me thank each and every one of you individually. Thank you, Angel Eyes. Thank you, Miss Patty. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, or Heaven. Thank you, Nate. Yeah, Nate was the first one in here. Thank you. Those in the bushes, thank you. You guys have a wonderful night. Be blessed. Stay safe. Remember, we're too blessed to stress. Love you guys. Peace.